Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another kind of impromptu version of the Burgundy Brigade podcast. I am your host, Burgundy Brigade Kevin, joined by Aaron Music at Avalangelist on the Twitter. And man, we're coming to you shortly after the Avalanche had a rousing come-from-behind victory to extend the series to a Game 6 back in Pepsi Center. And man, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here and just going for it. But man, that was a fun game to watch. How are you doing over there, Aaron?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah.
I tried to break my phone on when Andrighetto scored, but it survived. Thanks. This is why you pay for a good case, people.
Excellent, excellent. I may have frightened my children. And by may have, I mean absolutely did.
It's okay. That makes them respect you, I'm sure.
I'm sure, or something like, yeah, just after the first one, my youngest gives the whole, "That scared us, Daddy." And after the second one, my oldest asked me, "Why do you have to be so loud when the Avalanche score?"
Did they get introduced to some colorful metaphors now?
They've been introduced. They've seen me watching hockey games before. The phrase, "We are not supposed to say that," has been said many times while I've been watching a hockey game. So I'm teaching them life lessons as well, as well as hockey lessons.
Oh.
So man, let's just jump into it here. Most people, myself included, figured Nashville was the worst draw for the Avalanche. And last podcast with when we had Louis hanging in here for you, I said that I'd probably take the Preds that I would take the Preds in 5. And even if EJ and Varley were healthy, I'd still take the Preds in 6. And at this point, based off of this series, I'm not convinced that the Avalanche can't win it yet.
Initially, I picked the Predators to win in 6. Going even further, I thought the Avs would win Game 3 and Game 5. So, make of that what you will.
That's some smart picking right there.
Hey, it's almost as good as when I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In September.
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
So what you're saying is whatever you say, I should run to Vegas with.
When I'm confident on something, go with it.
Take it to the bank?
Yeah.
Nice.
I wish I'd taken that one to Vegas.
Seriously.
I can tell you that.
That would have been, that would have paid off for you. That really would have paid off for
goodness.
you. So let's look at the series so far. Game 1, very even until the third period. And then the Avs just seemed to run out of steam in the third period. And Nashville showed their depth, showed their skill, and took over that game.
Philip Forsberg took over that game. Let's call it what it was.
Well, he's on Nashville, so, whatever.
Well, he was Nashville in that third period.
Fair.
That move he made on Girard, we've seen McKinnon do that to people before. It sucks being on the other end of it.
It does. And honestly, Girard didn't even play that all that badly.
No, he plays it most of the time when you play that, it actually wins. Usually you get your puck on the stick and you disrupt the play enough that it works.
Yep.
Forsberg is just on another level, though.
Yeah, he's a ridiculously good player, for sure. Game 2, pretty even throughout. The Avs were getting. Really, 5-on-5 throughout that game, the Avs were the better team. Avs made a couple dumb mistakes that shot themselves in the foot, and every time they were getting close, they did something stupid to allow Nashville to go back up by 2. But they kept scratching, they kept going, and they kept scoring. They were never really out of that game.
And they made it a fight all the way to the end. The Avs have never given up on a game.
Yep.
They've never given up on a game this season.
It's
now that I think about it. I can't really think of many games where they got thrown out of either their building or the other teams. Maybe Vegas.
Well, I mean, that California road trip at the end of the year sure was not very pretty.
Oh, it wasn't pretty, but there was still enough that you could conceive that a play goes one way or the other. They're still in the game.
Yeah. Game 3, the Avs absolutely run Nashville, run them out, totally.
Yeah, they came out and showed Nashville their best.
Got a little close for comfort at the end, but by and large, the Avs were, I mean, that game was never really close. That game
really relaxed, and that's the epitome of garbage time.
Yeah.
The goals.
Yeah. Game 4, Avs did not have a good start. It was the first really kind of bad start they'd had to the series. Didn't really come along until the third period. We're down 3 goals going into the third period. Rallied like crazy and nearly tied the game.
And you know what? Nashville came out in Game 4 and they finally showed their best self.
Yeah.
And their best self is better than anyone else in the Western Conference. And their depth-wise, which way Nashville should be the best team.
Yeah. I'm not fully convinced of that anymore.
Well, they're not playing to their ability. They're actually letting teams come at them. Yeah. They have for about the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah. And then, of course, tonight it kind of was starting to mirror Game 1, where it was really even throughout the first 2 periods. Nashville was starting to take over in the third there. They got a fortunate bounce on their goal, which I still think should not have counted. More so because the call on the ice was no goal, that it was kicked in. And looking at a replay, I don't know how you look at that and see and say, oh, yeah, totally not a kick. Clear as day.
Seeing it in full speed, it looked like a kick.
Absolutely did.
Slowing it down, it looked better.
Slowing it down,
like a good goal.
Even so,
it just went off the skate.
Even so, slowing it down, you still see that his skate starts well behind him, and by the time it makes contact with it, it has moved forward.
Yeah.
And again, at that point, it's just one of those things. It's not clear and obvious evidence that the call on the ice should be overturned. And I feel, and this is a thing that's happening a lot in a lot of leagues that have the whole replay thing. Rather than looking at it and giving deference to the call on the ice, they're looking at it at the replay as if it is happening in real time, and making the call based off of that, as opposed to the relationship to the call on the ice. Is there a clear evidence to overturn the call on the ice? And that's happening to a lot of teams in a lot of leagues, and it's just I wish that officials in general could get on the same page for crying out loud, especially about something as big as those things in situations as important as these. It's absurd. Anywho.
That's on the list of my concerns. That's so far down. It's so far down.
Fair.
The first of my concerns is the Department of Player Safety.
Oh, God, absolutely.
Honest. They can't decide what's suspendable and what's not. Who gets suspended, who doesn't, what do you have to do to get suspended? Series to series, game to game. They have a different book for different teams.
At this point, I'm convinced that it's just a dartboard on their wall, and someone looks at a play and goes, well, shit, I don't know, and they just throw a dart at it, and whatever the dart hits, that's what they go with. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I completely agree. I continue to hate the whole separation of regular season versus playoffs. And I was having this conversation on Twitter. It was either earlier today or yesterday. I don't remember. Someone who was saying, well, playoff games obviously are, they are more important than regular season games. They do count for more, which is why I then say all the more reason to keep the suspensions and rulings consistent to the regular season. If you'd suspend someone for 3 games in the regular season, Suspend them for 3 games in the playoffs and really hammer the point home. You want something that's going to hammer the point home of we will not take headshots, period? Suspend Josh Morrissey for 3 fucking games for that cross-check to Eric Stahl's head. I don't like the Minnesota Wild any more than anybody else, but that was a 3-game at least suspension.
I mean, that's what Landeskog got.
Yeah.
For doing a little pest to Tkachuk, giving him what he deserved.
Yeah. It's a suspendable. That should be 3 games. And you really want to send the message home to players: get your shit together with these headshots. Give a guy a 3-game suspension in a playoff series. Watch that stop real fast.
And anything where the principal point of contact is the head, whether it be a shoulder, a stick, or a sucker punch, is you're immediately going for a game, pending a review.
Yeah.
Make it easy. Just make it consistent. Make it freaking consistent.
Yeah, that's the part that really kills everybody. Is the whole? It's just there's just no consistency. And
yeah, we've gotten off track here, though.
Yes, we have.
Let's take this back to the fun thing. Avs actually playing above. The Avs are playing like a veteran playoff team.
They really are. I mean, they're certainly playing like a team that has no pressure. I mean, as soon as that goal goes in, I mean, I saw everybody. We all saw it on our timelines. Oh my God, that's how the season's going to end, isn't it? On a bounce off someone's friggin' skate. That and then the Avalanche managed to get some action going the other way, and Nathan MacKinnon makes an amazingly. I mean, wow! Talk about ice in the veins type of move. It would be so easy to rush a shot there. You're desperate. You need to score a goal. Time's running out, and he just is so patient and makes PK Subban look really, really bad. Gives a nice little feed over to Landeskog, who's established his position, and gives Ellis a little bump, and Ellis falls on Rinne. Wide open net, game tied.
Nope. You know what you need to make that play work?
What's that?
Heart.
I see what you did.
Oh.
He's got heart, miles and miles and miles of heart.
You've gotta have heart.
Yeah. Name that musical, everybody.
I played that musical.
What's that?
I played that musical.
Have you?
Yeah, that was high school.
Wow.
It's my senior high school play.
Hey, that's cool. That one's not done a lot in high schools because they need so many guys. It's damn Yankees, by the way.
Yeah, I played in the pit of that musical. I wasn't on stage.
Oh, gotcha.
Be quick.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I get you. And then so the Avalanche keep going. Predators kind of come back a little bit. We see a little bit of action. Subban gets caught down low again this time, and suddenly it's Compher and Andrighetto on a 2-on-1. Compher makes a shot blocker side, kind of handcuffs Rinne a little bit, who makes the initial save, but he can't squeeze it. Just falls right out onto Andrighetto's stick, and he buries it, and Colorado loses its freaking mind with 1:30 left. They hold on to it, don't really let a shot get through to Hammond in the last minute and a half, and they walk out of Nashville with a win. Wow. Wow.
Hammond, there are so many reasons this team shouldn't be in the playoffs. Shouldn't be in a Game 6 situation.
Yeah.
They lost Semyon Varlamov. He got his. They won't say exactly what it is, but I was at that game. It sure looked like some knee damage there.
I think that's what they said. They said
wasn't
legs.
Just injured; he was taken out.
Yeah.
Then, right the same time, same game actually, Eric Johnson, he's out.
Yep.
For 6 weeks, but I'm not sure 6 weeks is. It might be longer than that. That's not an easy injury to overcome. What he's got. Mm-mm. Then you've got Bernier. He's hurt. Girard's been hurt. They have iced for 3 out of the 5 games. They have iced a defense that is Nikita Zadorov, who's 23, Tyson Barrie, Patrick Nemeth, who was claimed on waivers, Mark Barberio, same story, Duncan Siemens, David Warsofsky, both AHL defensemen, pretty clearly AHL. And they won one of those and played well in at least parts of the other 2.
Yeah.
They have the right group. They rely on their core, and the core is actually powering them.
Yep.
They stay within their mission. Their coach, it's early to say this, he's in the second year, but I really hope that Bednar is around for a long time.
Same. Because
he is so calm, he's exacting and demanding, but he's also understanding. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want a fourth-line player to play like a superstar. He wants him to play like the fourth-line player he is. And everyone skates up the ice and back the ice. You do not see anyone on the Avalanche team loafing back on defense. You power up the ice, and then you power back on defense. If you're going to make a rush, especially as a defenseman, you will skate harder getting back. And without Bednar, they could have fired Bednar and said, yep, 48 points, you're gone, I'm sorry.
Yep.
They gave him a chance.
It's a darn good thing they did.
He is exactly the guy that we thought he was when we signed him in August of last year. And some people called us all nerds and told us to get back into our mother's basement for liking his signing. If you're unaware, that's Mike Evans of 104.3, the Broncos fan.
Yeah. I assume that you mean Varley's groin when you say Mike Evans, because that's what I've named Varley's groin. I've named it Mike Evans.
But Bednar, and now you have a leadership. We've talked about this before. They cleared out the entire almost everyone who was 30 or north of it, gone.
Yep.
And it makes your elder statesman, Blake Como, who's had a renaissance year. Same thing with Carl Soderberg, Eric Johnson, and Gabe Landeskog at 25 is one of your older guys. And they stood in front of everyone and said at camp, we will be better. This is a group that will be better. This is a group that can compete for the playoffs. And I thought, yeah, eventually, maybe. I didn't expect it this year.
Yeah.
But they expected that of themselves. And they have at least put in the effort worthy of going to see them, turning on the TV.
Yeah.
And if they go down a goal, 2 goals, sometimes 3, they keep skating. They don't let a 3-0 become a 6-1 loss.
Right. Which, one of the things that I think has impressed me the most about the team in this series in particular, early on in the series, the Avs got goaded into a lot of those after the whistle things that happened that continuously were going on because the Predators have been taking some after whistle liberties, and that happens in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. But it's been getting kind of over the top, and after games 3 and 4, game 3, I want to say the Avs really kind of stayed out of it for the most part because they had no reason to get into it. They were up big, So that's where that was. And then in Game 4, they were down 3-0, still taking some of it. And then Gabe Landeskog basically said, "You know what? I'm through with this shit," and took a stick to the groin from Ekholm and just sat his ass down, threw him down. And I don't know if you watched the game tonight. The Preds weren't doing anything after the whistle tonight.
And nobody was going to do anything because nobody wanted to take that one penalty.
Yep.
That turned a 0-0 game into a 1-0 game.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the whole point of that is that's a huge lesson learned from the team. First off, they learned to not get goaded into too many things, but they learned to stay out of some things. But then they also learned to stand up and say when enough was enough. And because the Preds were the Preds were really going out there and attempting to bully the Avalanche. And from that moment on, that's kind of when the Avs started to turn things around a little bit there. They were better at the second period in the end there. And then the third period came along, and they just said, "You know what? We're going to go out and get this. They're not going to put this game is far from done. We can get 3 in a period. We've done that before. Let's just go out and do it." And they nearly did. They have nothing but confidence going right now. There's nobody expected them to be here. Nobody expected them to win a game. Nobody expected them to win in Nashville. No one's expecting them to extend it to a Game 7. There is no pressure on Colorado right now.
I don't know that that's entirely true. There's no external pressure on them. But they do place pressure on themselves.
They're not playing like a team. They're not playing like a team that is feeling any pressure though. They're playing like a team that is free, that believes that they can do what they say that they can do, and that are just interested in showing it. I get what you're saying, but I don't know that's necessarily them putting pressure on themselves so much as them just saying, let's just go out there and we have nothing to lose. Let's just go out there and show.
There are two kinds of reactions to pressure. There's the reaction of, "Oh gosh, this is a big game. This is huge," and then making it tight.
Right.
And then there's the kind of pressure of, "This is a big game. I'm really excited." That actually loosens you up and you get yourself revved up a little more than you usually would.
Yeah.
And the Avs are the second kind of pressure. They're completely in the moment, and they're loving it.
Yeah. It has been true. I mean, this has been a great series of hockey. Taking all fan loyalty out of it, this has been a really fun series of hockey to watch. A lot of really, really good hockey from both teams. And I'm so thrilled that this team is a part of that and that they're getting this experience.
I am too.
And
I feel like the NHL for at least a little while was trying to make this as like the new rivalry of the NHL. Avs and Predators. And I'm sorry, I can't buy it because I actually like Nashville way too much. Like my major, if this should tell you where I am with rivalries, my major motivation into winning tonight was so that our season officially lasted longer than that of the Minnesota Wild.
Yep.
Now that's a rivalry.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually really like PK Subban. I love Philip Forsberg. There's so many players on Nashville that are really, really like.
Yeah. I mean, there's
the thing that the NHL can try to force there is going to work for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's a natural amount of animosity.
The guys on the other side, I have some people that I used to write with on Hockey Buzz that I've been chatting with them. They're like, "You know what? You guys are really fun. You're fun to watch." When we're not playing against one another, I'll be rooting for you. You're fun to watch.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have the respect there.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there isn't a whole lot of respect between Minnesota and Colorado.
No.
If I'm Totally.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, and there's a natural amount of animosity that comes along with any type of playoff series. Both sides want to win. Both fan bases want to win. Everybody wants to keep their season going. And when you play the same team back to back to back to back to back to back, there's going to be a natural amount of, dear God, I'm just so tired of seeing these guys.
Right. But there's also a natural, if you do it right, there's a natural amount of respect as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that a lot of the stuff that's coming, the vast majority of things that are coming out on social media and things from both sides are all in all pretty respectful. I early on I haven't liked a lot of the, like I mentioned, the after whistle shenanigans that Nashville has been pulling. But at the same time, then you got to have your team step up and stop it, and the Avs have done that. I know that that there have been some things said by certain idiots on both sides that are just over the line. But that's all that proves is just that there's assholes everywhere.
Right.
But
you can't go into a single bathroom without finding an asshole.
Exactly right. But I'm getting a few messages on my Twitter timeline right now from Predators fans going, man, you guys should be enjoying this. What a great series your team is playing. I wish the Preds would just put them away, but man, they are playing. They're not quitting.
I have a guy telling me that in the next years, it's going to be the Avs, Jets, and Predators all fighting it out for the Central Division.
Yeah.
And then I responded, the NHL is probably going to do something really smart, like break up the division and put them all in separate ones.
Move Nashville to the east, where they will just dominate everybody.
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Man alive. So let's see. Looking forward here. Avs come back to Pepsi Center for a game on Sunday. You think so you still had the Preds in 6. You think you think that comes to fruition? You think the Avs push the series the distance?
I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
And as unfortunate as it is, and I like being wrong in these situations, but I don't think I am.
I think we'll get a taste of that in the first 10 minutes of the game. I mean, honestly, at this point, I have no idea which way this is going to go. It's going to be, literally anything could happen, and I just don't even know. I don't even know what to predict. I just feel like the first 10 minutes are going to be a real indication.
I don't think the Avs will get blown out.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a tight one. You know what we haven't seen yet? We almost got it today. Overtime.
That's true. That's true. We have not seen overtime yet. We have not seen it. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. The Avs and Preds have been getting the late game, I'm tired. I have to wake up at 5 o'clock every morning to get to work. Hey, I won Avs Twitter Psychic tonight. Woo! I think that might be the third time all year. So
that's good. I never do it, but then again, I pick someone who won't win because usually when I've noticed whenever I pick Tyson Jost, the Avs seem to do well. So he's kind of my go-to if the Avs really need a win.
Nice. And then if you do happen to win, then it's probably a good thing for the Avs as well because if he's going.
Right. See, it's not about me winning.
So, one of the things I noticed about him, we mentioned before, he had that Tyson Jost had a really excellent game tonight. The Avs' first power play, they had moved. Jost had been playing in that middle section, the guy that stands right in between the PK, in the middle of the PK's box. And tonight they had him over on the right wing. And especially on that first power play, I really liked what he did. He protects the puck very well, makes good passes, fed some things into Landy, set up Barry for a one-timer that missed the net. But
the thing I notice about Tyson Jost is that he's slowing the game down.
He is.
He made one move where he froze the defense and then cut in toward the middle. and it created a lot of movement and a lot of options. I don't think the shot got through, but I think he was actually moved a little bit by a bigger guy.
Yeah.
But once he gets stronger and he does stuff like that, he's going to be very, very impressed by what happens.
Am I the only one that feels like when he's skating and handling the puck, especially behind the net, that he really looks like Matt Duchene?
I think he looks more like a Jonathan Toews.
Especially the way he does the little spin behind and the way he uses his body to shield the puck, it looks very Duchene to me. Which, it's not a downside. I know a lot of people are loving to give Duchene a whole lot of shit right now. And, fine, I guess. But that's just
I don't hate Matt Duchene. He got what he wanted.
No, he absolutely did get what he wanted. And I don't know. There's a lot of folks that are taking a little bit too much pleasure in the whole thing.
I mean, there's a little perverse schadenfreude there.
Of course there is, absolutely.
Duchene wanted to play playoff hockey, and he didn't think he would do that at Colorado.
Yep.
And to be perfectly honest, if he stayed, he would not be playing playoff hockey here.
Don't think so?
You know what I said about the whole everyone skates back, everyone plays defense, everyone plays 200 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Duchene does not do that whole skate back on defense thing.
I disagree with that. Come on.
Oh, I watched enough games, and he, especially was watching in Ottawa. No way, no sir.
In Ottawa, maybe, but I mean, throughout his time here, Duchene was not a lazy defender.
He wasn't a lazy defender, but he wasn't a great defender either.
That doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't
that
skating
going
back.
Up the ice as he did coming back.
I don't know. I don't buy that.
I'm just saying he didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
And so when someone doesn't want to be here, you get them gone.
For sure.
And B, I just don't see him working the system. I mean, he's a good skater and everything, but it's how you skate, not where you skate.
Well, he was putting up decent numbers at the start of the year, but by the time he was traded.
I mean, yeah.
Neither here nor there, really.
Yeah, it's one of those, everything that we got for him. This is, I laugh at Ottawa for making this deal and not, even Ottawa, so they gave up Kyle Turris, 2 picks, and a prospect, a good prospect, for Matt Duchene, who's, this time next year, you think he's gone from Ottawa?
I don't know. I guess
He's a free agent in July.
He is. I think a lot's going to depend on Ottawa's season this season.
Yeah, okay. And then
or
the Avs
next season,
flipped Kyle Turris for Sam Girard, who's just about the most amazing 19-year-old defenseman I've seen. Vladislav Kamenev.
Girard has been was an absolute boon for this team. I mean, unbelievable.
And second round pick, third. Can't remember which pick we got from Nashville. Anyways, a pick.
One of them.
Oh, and of course, you can't forget the key part of the Matt Duchene trade, Andrew Hammond.
He was certainly the key.
So I put this out on Twitter. So the Avs got a game-winning goal scored by Sven Andrighetto, who the Avs got from Montreal for Andreas Martinson.
God, that trade has always looked so good.
It was assisted by Timothy Comfer, who was acquired with Zadorov in the trade for Ryan O'Reilly, to give Hammond the win, acquired in the Duchene trade. If that's not a won the trade sandwich,
hashtag won the trade. Man alive. Oh. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a really fun. It's been just a really fun week and a half of playoff hockey.
It's been a really fun season.
It really has.
From about mid-December on, this team really clicked and had something special.
Yeah.
It was about the time that they lost but they took blows and returned to Tampa Bay that they really realized how good they are.
Yeah. That they absolutely did. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. We're just kind of rambling at this point, aren't we?
I don't care. I really just wanted someone to talk to.
Yeah, I know. I know. All right, let's see here. I had a couple comments come in. We had at Moronic Opinions, who wrote he's feeling absolutely fantastic. After that Nashville goal, I was ready to give up, but oh boy, that comeback and Sven with the winner. I love it. I guess almost every Avs fan is screaming for an extension for Hammond right now. Fucker stole the game and our hearts right there. Hope he robs us to Game 7.
Yeah, you know what I say about that?
What's that?
Never give up.
Never surrender. I won't say that bloody line. I love that movie.
Like Raptor's hammer,
Don't
you shall
stop
be
it.
avenged.
Don't say that. I mean it. One of Alan Rickman's finer roles for sure.
Rickman's finer roles are all of them.
That's very true. That guy's an amazing actor. I loved him.
That guy was so good. He turned in a great performance next to the most American sounding Robin Hood ever in Kevin Costner.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It's a spoon. It's dull, you idiot. It will hurt more. I had a Pred fan saying I put out hell. I thought I had that the Preds were in 5. Just a hugely positive experience. I love it. Having so much fun watching this team right now. Writes to me, dang right, you should be enjoying it. They have no intention of quitting. So this has been a great series. He said, yes, you are correct, but in all honesty, I wish they just put the Avalanche away. Of course, the problem is the Avalanche want it too bad.
This is the sunrise of the Avalanche.
Yeah.
On the same day, we saw the sunset of the Minnesota Wild. Which, by the way, I don't know if you could show worse to a game than what Minnesota did.
Then hell, especially what Devin Dubnyk did. That fourth goal, there was nothing he could do. Those first 3 goals, I don't know what he was thinking. The first one, he looks like he was just guessing, and it went through his legs. The second one, it started about like 3 feet wide of the net. Why he started sliding out to try to glove that, I have no idea. So when it got deflected, there was never a chance. He had taken himself so far out of it. It was just like the dumbest thing. That third one was...
He took himself so far out of it, he might as well have just gone on the golf course already.
Yeah. The third one was like he was looking at it the whole way and then just missed. And the fourth one was a big shot through a whole bunch of traffic that went off a dude and into the net. So, that Dubnyk doing Dubnyk things... and again, as I tweeted out before, a happy reminder that he is signed for the Minnesota Wild through the 2020-2021 season. So enjoy that, Minnesota. Yeah. Oh, man alive. Louis gave us a call. We got a voicemail from Louis. So let's go ahead and give Louis a quick listen. I hope this is set up right. So here we go. Here's Louis.
Aaron, my boys. Game 6, baby. Back in Colorado. Fans are going to bring all the heat. The Preds are going to be hopefully a little nervous. I know we planted that little seed of doubt. That's what I was talking about last time. That little seed of doubt. And the boys are doing it. The boys are doing it. Man, what a game. What a game. I was so heartbroken when I saw that goal overturned for a goal. That no goal overturned for a goal. That was ridiculous. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, but then to see Nathan McKinnon with the nastiest patience you could show, feeding it to the captain, and the captain just burying it. Oh, my God. You couldn't script that any better. That's the whole season right there, man. What a game, boys. What a game. I mean, and then to top it all off, they make PK Subban look like an idiot. Then PK Subban makes himself look like an idiot. Oh, man. For the go-ahead goal, you couldn't have asked for better karma from that douche, because he is an absolute douche. And I just love it, man. Anyways, boys, this is a whole lot of just hype right now, because I am so hyped for Game 6. And hopefully the boys can just take it and push this to a Game 7 and really get the Predators gripping their six, man. Because, like, if you can force a Game 7, anything can happen, and the Predators are going to have all the pressure on them. Anyways, Kevin and Aaron, hope you guys are doing great. Hope to hear this podcast. I'm Louis from Cali, and I'm out.
That was an excellent start to that message, Louis, man. Oh.
The first 10 minutes of Game 6 are going to tell us everything.
Yeah.
Because if the Avs can come out and do to the Predators what they did in Game 3, we're going to Game 7.
Yeah.
And all the the pucker factor is squarely on Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh, God, we can't lose this. We're the President's Trophy team. Ah!
I mean, there are more than a few folks, again, Predator fans that I saw putting out there. Be careful with all of this talk of we're just going to roll the Avalanche. There's no way the Avs stand a chance against this team. I seem to remember some other team last season who had all that talk thrown at their way. They just got into the playoffs the last day. They were wild underdogs to a team that was supposed to sweep them. And
were they facing a team with red and kind of an Indianish logo?
I think they
kind of could be looked at racist if you weren't in a sporting venue.
A little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm. The Avs are a good team. They're here for a reason. They should be respected, and I think the Avalanche have earned that respect. And yeah, just like you said, and just like Louis said right now, the Predators have to be looking at this going, "Uh-oh."
Looking at a picture, it's of Ryan Ellis sitting on top of Pekka Rinne after the Avs have scored, and Rinne is looking at Ellis like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he's going to spank Ryan Ellis like he was naughty.
Yeah.
It's making me laugh so hard.
It looked like in that sequence, it looked like he was going to yell at the ref because he thought that an Avs player ran into him, and then he looked down and realized it was Ellis, and he was like, "Bitch, what you doing on me?"
The color of that jersey.
Yeah. Just so great. So I'm so hyped. I'm with you, Louis, man. I am so hyped right now. It
takes a lot for me to get this hyped, and the first goal was great, and then Andrew Gatto scored, and my phone went across the room, and I was trying really, really hard to stay quiet but also celebrate, and it was fun and a little bit nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah.
But I did not wake the wife, so that means I live to live another day.
You lived to the podcast.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be doing this for the zombie, and I'm not sure that's entertaining.
Yeah. I don't even want to end the podcast. I want to hold on to this right now for a little bit longer. This has been such a great season. Such a great season. I can't be mad at any possible outcome of this right now. If the Avalanche force it to Game 7, even more so if they don't. Again, this has just been, the whole ride has been so much fun. And for the first time, I really feel like the hope for the team in the future is actually well-founded. Because looking back on the first one with Duchesne's rookie year, we all had the hope, and then it didn't work out the next year, and we realized, well, it was just a goalie that basically carried them. And then the second time with McKinnon's rookie year, and winning the division, everyone was like, yes, this team's going to keep moving forward. And then it was basically the same thing. This time, it feels different. This isn't a team that's being. I mean, aside from the fact
I was hoping you would bring this up.
Aside from the fact that Hammond stopped a buttload of shots tonight, this team hasn't been relying on a goalie to carry it all the time.
Mm-mm. And after the last playoff series, you had Paul Stastny and Ryan O'Reilly coming up on new contracts.
Yep.
Who's coming up on a new contract for the Avs next year?
Mikko Rantanen.
He could be extended, but yeah. Nobody.
That's about it, yep.
Nobody is hitting unrestricted free agency, restricted. There isn't going to be anything like that. The team that's here is going to be here next year.
Yep. The guys unrestricted after this year are Blake Como, Gabriel Bourque, Mark Barberio, and Mark Alt, Jonathan Bernier, and Andrew Hammond. Those are, and scoring super stud Joe Colborne. Those are the guys that are coming up unrestricted. All guys that, if you do re-sign, you're not re-signing for big money anywhere near it. I would love to. I mean, I'd love to. At this point, I'm like, hell, let's keep Como around another couple years.
Oh yeah, I'd be okay doing that.
Even Gabriel Bourque has shown to be a very effective fourth liner. Does his job really well, and even occasionally chips in some offense. Not a lot, but that's not his job.
He's a spark plug.
Yep. So, I mean, other than that, Matt Nieto's restricted.
I've had so much fun tweeting and responding to all different manner of people on Twitter. This is just great.
Yeah. It's just.
So if you hear that
really
in the background, that's what I'm doing. Everyone's jazzed about this team because, as I've said before, it's the sunrise. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Neo in the phone booth. Neo in this case is McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to tell you how this thing ends. I'm here to tell you how it begins.
Yeah. The Avalanche are scheduled this offseason to have $25 million in projected cap space. And that's if the upper limit stays the same at $75 million for the team. It may go up.
They have I noticed there's like $10 million there that's unaccounted for.
There's a lot of million that isn't accounted for in there.
I specifically say about $10 million.
Yeah, $10 million. Who might that bring over? What would the Avalanche do with this $10 million?
I don't know. They've got a JT Comfer, but I feel like they need another JT in there.
Yeah.
But Justin Timberlake is going to be a little too expensive. So
and he's not the best skater either. So
I don't know. He was a good goal. Yeah, I don't know. He was a goalie in a movie.
Was he?
Yeah, it was an awful movie called The Love Guru.
Oh God. I never saw that.
That's one of those movies that was actually pretty awful, but also pretty entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, that's a lot of Mike Myers movies.
So you know of it.
I know of it, yes. I know of it. I never saw it, but I know of it. Yeah. I would love me some John Tavares on this team. Oh, my God. I would. And it seems so feasible. And I know that there are plenty of people out there who are saying the Avs need to stick with their process, stick with the grow from within. And I get that, and I don't completely disagree with that. But this isn't like we're going out and going, hey, let's bring in Francois Beauchemin to help this team out. This is a little bit.
We're not trading for Brad Stewart this time around?
Yeah, not so much, right? This is not anywhere near that type of a comparison. This is John freaking Tavares. He had 83 points this season.
You already have Crosby. Are you going to say, no, I don't want Malkin?
Right. I mean, he had 84 points this season, 37 goals. He had 66 last year, but then 70 points before that, 86 points the year before that. He's had 30 goals lots of times. This is a guy that can transform and really, 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 really move this franchise forward.
You know what the Avs have missed all year long?
Secondary scoring.
Well, he would technically be primary scoring.
Yes, you are correct.
But he would provide primary scoring from the second line.
A second-line center.
Yep. And, yeah, Jost may grow into that one day, but, I mean, he could also grow into that someday while John Tavares is telling him.
I mean, then think about that. Then that makes your number one power play unit become Landeskog, Rantanen, McKinnon, Tavares, and Barry. And pardon me while I go find a new pair of pants after having said that. And yes, you will obviously have to commit a lot of money to him. But again, $25 million of space. Even if the Avs spend $10 million on him, they have $15 million more. And
not a whole lot of coin to throw around. That they need to throw around. They need to sign Zadorov. They need to sign Rantanen, and those will be the most expensive.
But that's not going to be $15 million worth.
If it is, we've overpriced Zadorov.
I would agree. I had this discussion with Louis last time around. He was saying that he was wondering about what Zadorov's contract number was going to look like. I said to him pretty straight out, Zadorov is not going to get the kind of contract that a PK Subban gets because he's missing.
Eric Johnson, that's about the high water mark.
Exactly. I mean, because he's missing one specific thing: points. Zadorov contributes for sure, and he is very solid defensively, and he's a very strong top pair guy, so it's not like he's going to get shortchanged. But he's not going to get that crazy, ridiculous high stratosphere money because he doesn't score a lot. And, say what you will about that.
Career high in goals.
I know, right? But, I mean, he's making 2.15 this year, 2.15 next year. If he keeps growing like that, you could see him very easily getting an EJ-style contract.
Yep.
And that would be fair. And that's $6 million. And then Rantanen, you can probably get him long term at not a huge amount. Also,
and Rantanen is powered by McKinnon's engine, so you don't pay him more than McKinnon, which means he doesn't get more than 6.5.
I don't even see him getting up to 6. Honestly, I think 5 would be the high end range for that, and you could lock him up for 5-6 years.
I mean, he was a point per game player. We're getting a little. Why are we talking about the off season?
I don't know. The season's still going. We should stop. But because we brought up that John Tavares guy.
I know there's no off season for talking Broncos, but we're talking off season in the Avs while they're still playing.
That's very true.
And I couldn't resist putting in a shot toward the other. By the way, if you're not listening to it, Altitude 950.
Yes, you just do it. Do yourself a favor.
That's a free promo, but their lineup is the strongest.
Yeah,
and their football guys actually talk other sports.
They do more. They realize that there's more than just the Broncos in the town, and we obviously Denver's a Broncos town, but there's other teams there, and people want to hear about them too. So
and it's worth the price of admission just to hear James Marilat and Vic Lombardi in the mornings.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty fun. They're a little bit like bickering brothers in the back seat, which is entertaining when you're not the parent.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I have bickering daughters in the back seat, but they bicker nonetheless. And you're absolutely right. It's much more fun when you're not the parent.
So, do you have anything else to add here? I feel like we're kind of spinning our wheels, and
we're totally spinning our wheels.
That our next podcast will cover.
Yeah, we're totally spinning our wheels, but that's all right. No, I don't have anything else. Oh man, we are just as jazzed as all of you guys about this season, everything that's going on. We're saying, watch those first 10 minutes of Game 6 here, and we're gonna get a real feel for whether or not this team not only can push it to 7, but might be able to steal this series.
If they win Game 6, we might just do another impromptu.
Yeah, we might just have to.
And that impromptu might just be 15 minutes of me screaming
and
my head off.
All of us just going, woo! I should be in bed because I have to work tomorrow, but I can't.
Work is for suckers.
I know, right? Seriously. Right on, guys. Well, enjoy this feeling. Enjoy this a lot. We will see you for Game 6 out back in Denver. Bring the noise, bring the pain, Avs fam, and go
If you see a catfish, take it and slap the person in the face with it.
Then maybe go cook it, because I hear they're tasty.
Depends on if you... Yeah, I don't know. I've never had catfish.
Yeah. I hear it's tasty, but, I've never had it either. So, but I'd be willing to try. So yeah. That's a totally different podcast. So, again, have a great night. Thanks for sticking around with our impromptu, very rambly podcast. Enjoy your evening, and go Avs. We'll see you Game 6, everybody. Peace.